Right, well, I'm here with James. James, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm James from the Brisbane Treasure Hunt Society, and we
Hang on,
make...
let me get in on that. That's not even focusing.
Oh. Thank you.
Hold on. Groovy.
Great. So yeah, I'm a part of the Brisbane Treasure Hunt Society. I run that, and we make immersive, puzzle-driven adventures that take people around and exploring their local area. Sometimes games, sometimes scavenger hunts, sometimes treasure hunts. But
okay, well let's talk just about the scavenger hunts for the moment.
Yeah.
The scavenger hunt we did today with the young people. You targeted for what?
6 to 12.
6 to 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Okay, and that mostly involves just like your standard Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
So you can go from there as a base level. How would you develop that further?
Cool. So yeah, you start out with that as a foundation, finding hidden items around the space, and then you just add layers of complexity onto it to make it more engaging or more difficult, or you have to think more. So you have a map.
Right.
And you're instructed to find certain items at certain locations. So if you have a wide area to cover, then you can create clues and cryptic riddles that will take them to those locations.
Today we were just looking for things, but
Yeah.
you develop clues and cryptic riddles even.
Yeah, especially if the space is as big as the Brisbane CBD and they can't just wander around aimlessly.
Oh, wow. Because I sucked at cryptic riddles, can I just say. I never did cryptic crosswords. I was terrible at them.
That's a bit of a trick of you've got to write a riddle that is only solvable when you're standing in the space. So it can make no sense if you're not there. But here you could say like, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between 6 steel girders on the point of the square, there's something there. And that doesn't make any sense, but if you come in here and you see these 6 steel girders around the space, and here is the point of a square, you'll find the item. So,
excellent. So
yeah.
you actually have to go scout those areas out then, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
So this involves a little bit of work from you.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so how long would it take you to put one together?
So that's a good question. That's actually the question I'm trying to answer this year by doing as many as I can. But there's like an initial meeting where we discuss some ideas and hit some goals, or do up a set of goals. And then there's a scout. The scout can take anywhere from half an hour to an hour or 2 hours, depending on the size of the space and the requirements for the treasure hunt. And then there's a drafting of the map, a testing of the map, a redrafting, and then a delivery. So
wow, that's pretty involved.
yeah.
So that's per game, I'm imagining. Like you could probably develop a base game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
That's the model there.
Okay, so how did you get into that whole? How did you get there?
So the initial seed of the whole idea was I used to, for partners, make treasure hunts for birthdays and things like that.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, and which I find is a pretty common theme. Like there's a lot of people out there who have done some cute little thing for their partner.
Yep.
And so I'd done that various times in my life, and more recently I went on sort of a date with one of my then ex-partner, and we just went on a series of nice little locations. We just did basic stuff. We bought some groceries, we got some beer, and we went to a park and sat and had a nice time. I thought it was really fun, and I thought, this would be fun to recreate for someone. It was like a really informal date. It was a date, but it was just a normal day. And I was like, well, if you could maybe make puzzles and riddles that connected the locations and sent people on a thing to go from one place to another, you could, by them solving a puzzle, they would end up just having a nice date as a result. And
wow. So let me guess. So like most things in life, this has come out of being able to woo women.
yes,
Okay, great. I can appreciate that.
that's why most of us men just get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, that's sadly true.
So yeah, that arose, and the date night treasure hunt was born. I made that in about a week, printed a bunch off, got a stall at the markets, and started selling them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what would you say are the keys to a good treasure hunt then?
That's a great question. The keys to a good treasure hunt. No, I got answers for this.
Okay,
Don't worry. Simple. The fun in the treasure hunt doesn't come from the game being complex. The fun in the treasure hunts comes from people being able to connect the clues on the map to the thing in real life. They are the connection between those two things, and when they make that connection, that feels really good. It's like, oh, this is the thing talked about on the map. I'm seeing it, and I've done something. So it's connecting dots. So they need only be very simple. Another part, you can make them more complex, but if you start from a ground base of make the simplest option you can and then add complexity, that's fun. That's really fun. If you start off with something going, and then they go from here to here and they have to do this thing to unlock this thing and then do this, and there's too many interworking parts, no one's going to be able to figure it out. No one knows what they're doing, or they have to spend time learning what to do. So you want to make the rules one sentence. Find 11 items in this area. So as long as it's simple, that's where you have a good thing. The other thing is theme and narrative is important. So if you have a treasure hunt, like here, we've made one for Small Crown Productions production of Peter Rabbit, and the theme, I've made a strong theme of, or went with the theme of the show. Peter Rabbit has a jacket and he's lost a whole bunch of buttons off his jacket, and they have to find those buttons. So making it work with the theme of what you're trying to make the treasure hunt innate of is going to make it stand alone rather than just find 8 random things, or here is just a map and there's no sort of like thematic directions. So you want it to be simple, you want to have a strong theme, and of course the treasure is the most important part as well. What's the treasure going to be? So whatever you do choose when you make a treasure hunt, my suggestion would be not to put value in the monetary value of the physical item, but to add value by creating extra content. So let's say you open a treasure chest. Chocolate is always good, something sweet. Maybe you want to give them access to something. I would hesitate against coupons or vouchers, but something that gives you something special, like special access to a web page that not anyone has any content to, or in my case, access into the Brisbane Treasure Hunt Society, which lets you test my treasure maps for free. So I always need testers. When you do one of my treasure maps, or when you become a part of the society, you get to be able to test maps for free and not have to pay for them. So
I'm part of that does sound like a lot of game design anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the intended goals, you've got the motivation, you've got to have a meaningful reward at the end. But you're also, the way you're integrating theme is important, and that rule complexity is a big issue.
Yeah.
It's a major issue in any good game design. Like I find some of the most involved games have often had some of the simplest rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because I think good simplicity in rules gives the player more autonomy in deciding how to play that out and how to function around that space.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Look, if someone wants to check out your stuff, what can they do?
Head over to my Instagram. That's where you'll be kept up to date with everything that I'm doing. That's Brisbane Treasure Hunt Society, at Brisbane Treasure Hunt Society. Or feel free to check out my website and contact me there, brisbaneexplorers.com.
Excellent. And we'll have those links in the thing below. Excellent. All right. Thanks.
Thanks. See you guys.